How I discovered my wife's secret affair. Every evening she kissed her husband goodbye, then drove straight into another man's arms. If someone had told me my wife was living a double life, I would have laughed. Because the woman I married wasn't just beautiful, she was the center of my world. My name is Ethan, and for 5 years I believed I had the perfect marriage. Olivia and I met at a charity fundraiser in Chicago. She accidentally spilled coffee on my shirt, and instead of apologizing awkwardly, she laughed and bought me a new one. That confidence was the first thing I noticed about her. We started dating a few weeks later. She loved weekend road trips, old movies, and strawberry ice cream. I loved watching her smile. 2 years later, I proposed during a sunset picnic by Lake Michigan. She said yes without hesitation. Looking back now, I often wonder if she truly meant it. Our marriage wasn't glamorous, but it was happy. I worked as a financial analyst, and although my job kept me busy, I always made time for Olivia. Every Friday night was date night. Every anniversary came with a surprise. If she was sick, I'd cook dinner. If she had a stressful day, I'd bring home her favorite flowers. I remembered every birthday, every important date, and every little thing she loved. Seeing her happy made me happy. Friends often joked that I treated my wife like a queen. Maybe I did, and I never regretted it. At least, not then. One evening, Olivia came home looking unusually quiet. "Everything okay?" asked. She forced a smile. "Yeah. I just think I need to start taking better care of myself." "What do you mean?" "I'm thinking about joining a gym." Smiled. "That's great. Whatever makes you happy." The very next week, she signed up for a fitness club only 15 minutes from our house. First, everything seemed normal. Every evening around 6, she'd change into workout clothes, grab her gym bag, kiss me on the cheek and say, "Don't wait up. I'll be back in a couple of hours." I never questioned it. Why would I? Trust isn't something you think about when you believe your marriage is solid. Months passed. Then little things started changing. She bought expensive perfume she'd never worn before. She spent longer getting ready before the gym than she did before fancy dinners. She smiled at her phone more often than she smiled at me. Whenever I walked into the room, she'd quickly lock the screen. I noticed, but I ignored it. Everyone deserves privacy, I told myself. One Friday, I surprised her with reservations at her favorite Italian restaurant. She looked uncomfortable. "I'm sorry," she said. "I already promised my trainer I'd stay late tonight." I forced a smile. "No problem. We can go tomorrow." She kissed my forehead and left. That night, I sat alone at a table made for two. It was the first anniversary dinner we'd ever missed. For the first time in our marriage. Felt lonely. A few days later, while cleaning the bedroom, I found an old photo tucked inside one of Olivia's books. She was standing beside another man. They looked young, happy. His arm was around her waist. On the back of the photo, someone had written, "Forever, Jason." When Olivia came home, I held up the picture. She barely glanced at it. "Oh, that's just my ex-boyfriend. You never told me about him." There wasn't much to tell. "What happened?" I shrugged. "We wanted different things." That answer felt strangely rehearsed. Phil. I let it go. What I didn't know was that years before she met me, Jason had been the love of her life. But he wasn't successful. He worked odd jobs, struggled to pay rent, and couldn't offer the future Olivia dreamed about. One rainy evening, she ended their relationship. "I love you," she told him through tears. "But love isn't enough. I need stability." Jason begged her to stay. Promised he'd work harder. Promised he'd become someone she could be proud of. But Olivia walked away. A year later, she married me. Life moved on. Or at least, I thought it had. One afternoon, Olivia received a phone call while I was making coffee. The moment she saw the caller's name, her expression changed. She stepped outside to answer. Through the kitchen window, I watched her laughing. Really laughing. The kind of laugh I hadn't heard in months. When she came back inside, I asked casually, "Who was that?" She didn't hesitate. Just an old friend. Smiled. But something inside me whispered. She wasn't telling me the whole truth. The next morning I couldn't stop thinking about that phone call. Something didn't feel right. A week later, I decided to surprise Olivia at the gym with her favorite smoothie after work. I walked to the front desk and smiled at the receptionist. "Hi, I'm looking for my wife, Olivia." She looked confused. "I'm sorry, Olivia." I showed her a picture. The receptionist stared at the screen for a moment before saying something that made my heart sink. She canceled her membership about 6 months ago. Froze. There must be a mistake. I'm afraid not. I thanked her, walked back to my car, and sat there in complete silence. If she wasn't going to the gym, then where had she been going every evening? For the first time in 5 years, I followed my wife. She left the house wearing leggings, carrying the same gym bag, and kissed me goodbye. "See you in a couple of hours," she smiled. Instead of driving toward the gym, she drove downtown. My hands tightened around the steering wheel. She parked outside a modern apartment building. A man walked out. He smiled the moment he saw her. She ran into his arms. It was Jason, the same man from the old photograph. My entire world collapsed. I watched them disappear into the apartment together. I didn't knock. I didn't scream. I simply drove away. That night, Olivia came home acting as if nothing had happened. "Workout was exhausting," she laughed. I looked into her eyes. "Was it?" She smiled. "I've never felt better." Every word was another lie. Over the next few days, I quietly collected the truth. Apartment security footage, restaurant receipts, photos, even messages that appeared on her tablet after she forgot to log out. Then I discovered the biggest lie of all. Jason believed Olivia was divorced. She had told him our marriage ended months ago. She had been lying to both of us. I invited Olivia to dinner the following Friday. She thought it was another date night. Instead, Jason was already sitting at the table. The color drained from her face. What is this?" I placed our marriage certificate beside Jason. Then I placed recent family photos next to it. Jason looked from the photos to Olivia. His voice shook. "You told me you were divorced." Olivia couldn't speak. I was going to explain. Jason stood up. "So you cheated on your husband? And lied to me too?" Tears filled her eyes. "I love both of you." Jason stepped back. "No, you only loved yourself." Without another word, he walked away. I looked at Olivia one last time. "You didn't lose me today. You lost me the moment you chose to betray my trust." A month later, our divorce was finalized. I never argued over money. I never sought revenge. I simply walked away. A year passed. Life slowly healed. At work, my colleague Sophia had quietly supported me through my darkest days. Her kindness wasn't loud. It was real. Eventually, friendship became love. We married in a small ceremony surrounded by people who truly cared about us. Around the same time, I heard Jason had married a wonderful woman named Emily after telling her everything about his past. He finally found the honest relationship he deserved. Olivia, however, kept calling me, leaving voice messages, writing letters, begging for another chance. One afternoon, I agreed to meet her for coffee. She cried the moment she saw me. "I made the biggest mistake of my life. Please, forgive me." I looked at her calmly. "I forgave you a long time ago." Hope appeared in her eyes. Then I continued. "But forgiveness doesn't rebuild broken trust. I deserve a wife who chooses me even when no one is watching. I hope one day you find peace. But it won't be with me." I stood up and walked away. As I reached my car, I realized something. Loyalty isn't proven when life is easy. It's proven when temptation appears. Olivia had chased excitement and lost the two men who would have given her an honest future. If someone broke your trust but sincerely begged for another chance, would you forgive them?